Although a lot of people don't believe it, a rat makes an excellent pet. Rats don't smell the way mice do, which is pretty nasty. In fact, they're really pretty clean. And this is Alba. She's very docile because she was bought young and she just doesn't bite. And they're interesting to watch, easy to handle and easy to keep. She's got a home which is made in an old plastic toy box, and it's got interesting wooden runways in there. If I put her there, she'll probably rush down to her nest that she's made. And it's easy to feed them there, and it's easy to give them water. But water is sometimes a bit of a problem for mice, rats, guinea pigs, and animals like that. You see, if you just get a dish like that, put water in it, and leave it in the cage, they often flick dirt into it in a matter of hours. You have to keep on doing this and renewing it every day. So what you really need is this. It's a self-watering container. It's very much better, and it works like this. It's got a little open dropper down there, and although it's dripping a little bit now because I'm shaking it, normally, because the air can't get in, the water can't get out unless something takes it out. So it sits there completely clean unless the rat comes along. Now when the rat drinks, it removes some water like that, and you can see the air bubbles are rising to replace the water. But when the rat stops drinking, the water stops flowing. Although it's wise to put a little drip tray under there just in case there are a few. That means you don't have to change the water every day and you don't make the cage mucky. So that's a good device, and this is how you make a self-watering dispenser. Let's get all that out of the way. First of all, you have to decide on the animal you're going to keep. Well, you'd know that. If you're going to have mice, get a little bottle and a cork that fits it, perhaps something of this size. But if you're going for a rat or a larger animal, you really need a larger bottle. And this is a good setup. That's really a dispenser taken apart. A bottle there, a cork that fits it, and the glass tube that runs through the middle. The glass tube can be a problem. It's easy enough in some places to get glass tube and have somebody just melt the end so it's smooth. But if you can't do that, go down to the chemist and look for old eyedroppers or new eyedroppers. You can even get them out of old bottles of your own, but avoid these. This is the sort with a kinked end, and it's a bit too difficult to work with. You can't get it through the cork. You can get the same sort of thing that's straight, but it's a little bit narrow up there, and it's too hard for the animals to get the water out. The sort you want has a blunt end with a fairly large hole. That's the sort to get, and again, if you can't, get somebody to file off the end of the thin one for you. It has to be wide enough to let the water out. Well, you then remove the rubber bulb. You don't want that, and very conveniently, these have a flared section on the end which is going to rest up against the cork. Now, of course, it has to go through the cork, and you have to make a hole for it to go through. Now, although cork's soft, drilling it has some problems. If you just drill it with an ordinary brace and bit, it tears the cork up. So you have to start with a small hole and enlarge it. And to do that, you have to grip the cork, which is, again, not easy. It squashes in a vise. So you get a pipe. This is a bit of old plastic PVC water pipe, something that the cork can be fitted into tightly, and you ram it in. Now, that cork acts as a hand vise, or the pipe acts as a hand vise on the cork. And the cork won't be compressed, but it will be held tightly. You can then put the pipe into a vise. And now everything is held tightly. Now that's the size of the drill eventually that we're going to have to use. But we don't start with that, we start with that. A very much narrower one in either a drill or a brace and bit. Here goes. Very gently, right through the centre. Pull it out, in again, and that's our guiding channel. Now, because the pipe is in itself a vise, we can take it out, sit down here, and begin to enlarge the hole. And we do that by taking the next size drill, pushing it in there, and twiddling it, and fingers are usually enough. If they're not, you can just get a bit of extra prod with some pliers, but your fingers should do it. Just work each drill through that hole, and then pull it out, and it'll bring extra cork with it. Next size up, and you can see the cork is now being chewed away very gradually. It won't split the cork itself, but it does enlarge the hole, and we can keep on working our way up all the way through until we get to the one that we want. Well, I won't do all of that now. I'll show you how to get the cork out again, because it's jammed securely there. You get a piece of doweling, put the pipe on there, and pop. There's the cork, and of course if the hole is large enough, you can go on to the next stage. And the next stage is the final one. We've got the bottle, we've got the cork, in this case with the large hole, and because the cork goes into the bottle narrow side first, that's the side where we have to push the glass through, from the narrow side to the wide. Well, you can get it into that hole there, but don't press it with your fingers. If it breaks, you could hurt yourself. get it started, and then just press it down gently on a tabletop, and you should find, if your hole is the right size, that it glides straight through and is a snug fit. Then you put it in the bottle after you've put some water in. Don't give one of these to your animal without testing it, just in case it's not working properly. Get the bottle full, and then put the cork in snugly, like that. Then turn it upside down and give it the tissue test. And if it works the way Albus did, like that, you'll know that you're in business.